What's happening, fish and friends? Welcome to another live. Hopefully we are working. Flying solo tonight. Y'all have just me. Hopefully I am entertaining enough to keep this going for an hour. It should be a fun live. Let me know, of course, in the comments if everything's working and running. I hope we are good to go here. Live. My guy Pac-Man said we were live. Okay, so I'm going to assume we are. I do see people showing up in here. Awesome. So what's happening? For me, what's going on today? I went out fishing for a little bit. Kind of a rough grinder. I did catch, I don't know, probably 10 or 11 fish, but my allergies have been pretty crazy today, so I might be struggling a little bit here. I had to pour some orange juice before here, but did catch some fish. Caught fish on a fluke. The power bait max scent, what is it called? 5-inch flat nose shad or something like that. Essentially their version of the fluke. I like it. Pretty cool bait. Those baits feel weird, though. Like, whatever those Maxent baits are made of, that's like old pig skin or something. I don't know. They feel weird. They give me the jeebies sometimes when I pull them out of the package. What's up? We got a bunch of people jumping in saying hello. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm excited tonight. Just got done watching the Hawks. Hawks won tonight. Beat Iowa State. My boy Matt's watching or listening later. Sorry, brother. Still love you, but yeah, there's only room enough for one Hawk team here. So that's what I've been up to. I need to go get the boat ready tomorrow. I'm going to a bow shoot with my old man, like a 3D shoot. For any of you out there that do bow shoots or bow hunt, before deer season starts, you can go out and they have like these 3D targets set up, like Reinhardt targets. So you can go through different stations. It's just a great way to practice in the off season. So we're going to do that. And then afterwards, I think, going to take the boat and fish a little bit. I don't know. We'll see, though, if I have enough time to get stuff ready. So tonight, I need you all to help me, and I might be muting myself to have to sneeze here in between because it feels like it's always right there. Mac Flanagan. So you'll see from time to time we get donations in here. And, of course, I never ask you all for donations. Speaking of donations, last night's stream with Alex Rudd was awesome. Huge shout-out to Alex Rudd and Ben Nowak. Thanks to those guys for having me on. But Alex raised like $1,000 for, I forget what it's called, tunnels to towers or something like that. I forget. But essentially it's giving back to the folks that they started helping out, the victims from 9/11. But I mean, there just wasn't enough of them left, to keep helping. So, firefighters, police officers, all that, they started helping those people too. And people that have, the lingering effects and stuff from 9/11, helping people there. So super cool. Raising $1,000. That was awesome. But tonight, the reason I say that is because I never asked you all to, donate or anything. Tonight is the 20th. I don't know if you call it anniversary. To me, that feels like it's celebrating, but the 20-year mark from 9/11, I'm sure if you were all alive, you remember where you're at. So hats off to everybody that helped out. Thoughts and prayers out to the families. It's a horrible ordeal. I couldn't even imagine. Couldn't even imagine. But tonight, what I was trying to get to with all that is, people coming together and supporting. And I noticed on his stream, on other people's streams, all these different streams that I'm on when I watch other people's lives and I have my own lives. What's awesome is I notice a lot of the same people supporting in the fishing community. And one guy that I wanted to bring up that always donates to the stream. Again, I never ask you guys and gals to do that. I appreciate it a ton. It goes back into giveaways, buying new baits, anything I can put, it goes right back into the channel. So Mac Flanagan is Mac, somebody who donates pretty much every time. Mac couldn't make tonight. I think he said he was working. But he donates every time and does a this or that. So if you all saw the title, this or that, that's what it is. So we're going to do a whole bunch of this or that questions. I told him if he would be willing to send me an email, and he sent me an email with 26 this or that questions, I'd send him a little prize pack as a thanks to always supporting me. And he did. He was cool enough to do it. So Mac, thank you very much. I'm going to go through his questions. And if you all have awesome questions out there that you want answered, we're going to go through all that tonight and hopefully have a bunch of fun. Talking fishing, gear, lures. I don't know where all this is going to go. I'm just excited to be on here talking fishing. Let's see. I did see my guy Tim's always fishing in the house. What is up, my friend? I did see you ask a question. It wasn't a this or that. You got to play by the rules, Tim. I'm kidding. You're a good dude, so I'll answer. He asked my favorite baitcaster besides, I think you said the Zillion, but it's actually the Daiwa Tatula SVTWG. So it's the silver reel. I actually don't own a Zillion. My favorite new baitcaster besides that one, and man, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. I've been using a bunch of different baitcasters lately. That's my favorite, and I've got like a Metanium, which is more expensive than that. It's, to me, it's not about how much you pay for the reel. Again, it's so much of it is just personal preference. How does it feel in your hand? You know, does it cast and work with, you know, the way you fish? That reel just feels good. So I've got a bunch of other reviews and stuff coming down the line, Tim. Hopefully some of those will help you out and you'll find them fun. I'm sorry, everyone, that I'm so far behind on reviews, because gear reviews are always like one of my favorite things to do. I'm just way behind. So we got people saying, yes, Hawks, my guy Fat Boy Fishing in here. What's up, Nick? Michael Steak in here. Where's Dizzle? Dizzle's out of town. I was hoping he'd be back and hit me up, but he's off doing stuff with the lady friend gallivanting. I think slowly we're going to lose him. You know how it goes. Your best fishing buddy gets an old lady, and then slowly it's going to be every other weekend I get a fish with him, and every 3 weekends I get a fish with him. Then it's going to be once every 3 months. So I don't know, Dizzle. Come on, get your priorities straight here, brother. So let's start with some this or that. If you all think of a really fun this or that, I am down to answer whatever you've got. I want to try to get through Mac's stuff because he's so awesome. He did lay out some ground rules. So he said, where applicable, assume whatever you choose you're stuck with for life. So he said, no saying this thing X for that and using Y for that, cheating. So he's not, like, if it's jig or Texas rig, I can't say, well, if I'm in this certain situation, I'm picking a Texas rig, but if I've got none of that. So it's just, you got to pick one and roll with it. So let's get to it. What else do we have in here? Tizzle's whipped. Chris, did you have any luck? Did you say you were going out today? I think you said the other day. What else do we have? No other questions. Just everybody saying, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everyone? I'm glad we got people in here. 140 people. Y'all are freaking awesome for being in here joining me on a Saturday night. I know there's football going on and such, so I consider myself lucky that you all joined me. Spinnerbait Blades. So this is, honestly, I don't mess with spinnerbait blades a lot. Gold or silver, that is one that depends. If I only had to choose one, I'd probably go with just silver. Gold for me is going to be that dirtier water. You know, you've got a little bit of sunlight. Silver for me is kind of a cleaner to stained water. You know, I've heard people say that, you know, those willow blades, silver imitate, you know, shad or a bait fish a lot better, whereas like a gold Colorado is going to imitate like a bluegill better. I don't mess around with a ton of that. Like, I don't get way down into the blade game, even though I love spinner baits. I guess I'd just say silver. Willow or Colorado, I'm kind of like Jim Tackle Junkie on this one. I have more luck on willow. Colorado, there is a time and place for it. Really dirty water. It gives off that really big, hard thump. But most of the time, I'm actually just fishing like a straight willow, double willow, or a willow with like the small Colorado on it. So that's me. Yeah, people saying both, like the silver and gold. I know they do have like the double. Yeah, best of both worlds. He didn't list that as an option, though. Okay, so you have to catch a fish. Are you going to power fish or finesse fish? To me, that's easy. If I have to go out and catch a fish, it's going to be finesse. So if I'm thinking like Ned rig, wacky rig, you know, just like a weightless Texas rig stick bait, like to me, not a drop shot. No, not throwing the drop shot. Mr. Is it Eater? No. I need to throw the drop shot more. I know it's a great fish catcher, but I hate messing with it. So for me, for sure, finesse. Finesse is the way to catch fish if you have to. Now, what would I rather do? I would much rather power fish. But if I have to catch a fish, I'm going finesse. Okay, worm hook or EWG, man, this is a conversation we could go down all sorts of rabbit holes on, because I was talking to somebody the other day. I don't remember who it was. And I watched a pro not too long ago talk about how they've switched almost 100% to flipping hooks, right? Because your hookup percentage is better. You know, with that J hook, you don't have stuff getting in the way of it. I'm honestly EWG most of the time. You know, there are certain things where I like a worm hook, you know, like a skinnier worm or something where you don't need that big gap on the bottom of it. But for me, fishing from the bank, mostly it's EWG. Like, you can rig it easy. You can, you know, just barely skin hook it and text pose that hook. And it's almost completely weedless. I mean, they're hard to get snagged. I mean, I managed to do it. I'm sure you all do too. But, you know, with that worm hook, when you bring it in, you can't bring it through straight. So you've either got to, I don't even know how I would show this, like have the hook so it's just barely stuck in the plastic. It's not gone all the way through yet. You stick the hook like that, or you can rig it up kind of at an angle and sort of skin hook it, but then you don't have that real straight, you know, it kind of goes off to the side, and that's just kind of an OCD thing. But I don't know. For me, EWG, just because of how versatile it is. Let's see what we have in comments, questions. EWG all day. Shimano or Daiwa? Ooh, if I only had to choose one. Well, I would say since my favorite reel right now is that the SVTWG, I'd have to go Daiwa. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with either of them, in my opinion. If Randy was here, for sure, he'd say Shimano. I don't know why. Randy's one of the only people I think that I've ever heard say they hate Daiwa, and they've only had bad luck with Daiwa. I don't know. It's old Randall. He's made different. We got people talking about, yep, EWGs works fine for me. Shimano. Catching, okay, Jesse G said, catching donkeys in a blizzard. Oh, I beat the mute. Thank goodness. Catching donkeys in a blizzard or dinks with perfect weather. Oh, I hate, even though I'm from Iowa, you would think I would have gotten used to snow and cold weather. I hate it. I absolutely hate cold weather and snow. I'd rather just catch dinks in beautiful weather than mess with the blizzard and catch some big fish. I hate it. I hate snow. If it wasn't for my family and stuff here, we would have already moved south. But my parents and grandparents and everyone would slap me around for taking the grandkids away. Okay, we got other people talking about it. I don't see any big questions coming in. Fish in the southeast in the house. Thank you for joining, brother. He said this or that. Finesse jig in black and blue or finesse jig in green pumpkin. Well, I'm assuming he's talking about just the jig. So if it's just the jig and I can use whatever trailer color, I'm always going green pumpkin, because you can use like a straight black trailer on there and kind of get the best of both worlds. You can go green pumpkin with like a watermelon trailer, or, you know, like a more translucent. So it's fun because you can kind of use green pumpkin anywhere. For me, black and blue is more of a dirty water jig color. Even though I have caught bass on in clean water, a black and blue jig. It's kind of weird, but pretty in most situations, green pumpkin is going to be my favorite soft plastic color out of anything. Unless I'm trying to mimic like, you know, shad or bait fish. You can't beat like a white or version of that, but my guy Chris Russ, another Iowa boy, this or that, square bill or chatterbait. For the way that I fish, mostly from the bank, I am generally a chatterbait guy. I like square bills. I have nothing against them. I throw them a lot. But just for the way it's been around here, we have so many lakes with grass and stuff that you just can't fish treble hook lures. You know, if you're in a boat and you're going down riprap banks and riprap points, a square bill or something like that is awesome, you know, around wood off that shallow cover and stuff. But for me, it's going to be a chatterbait, mainly due to the places and way that I fish. Hey, we got a donation coming in. My guy, Jam Fish Taco. He was a giveaway winner not too long ago. Drop shot or Carolina rig. So I've never been like a big actual Carolina rig thrower. I've always thrown like, I always call it the poor man's Carolina rig, which is like essentially a mojo rig where you take a worm weight, and you can even add a clacker and stuff to it, but you take a worm weight and peg it on both ends, or you can do like a split shot and crimp it there, like just a simple, you know, split shot rig, and fish it that way. And it's just kind of a downsized finesse Carolina rig. So instead of having, you know, your swivel and the clacker and, you know, the brass bead or the beads and the brass, you just kind of skip all that, and it's just like a silent scaled down version of that. I used to fish that quite a bit back in the day. But like as far as actual Carolina rig, Dad and I used to do it a little bit, but I'm not big into the Carolina rig game. Drop shot, you all know my my thoughts on the drop shot. I would go Carolina rig all day. There is a time and place for Carolina rig. I know there is for drop shot too, but both of those would take you 47 minutes to retie and get all ready to go. So what else do we have here? My guy Thomas Palmer in the house. What's up, man? Oh, Fat Guy Bassin. I forgot I can put comments up there. I'm sorry I haven't been putting them up for everyone. This or that. No frog ever or no spinnerbait ever. Man, that is a toughie. Oh, just knocked my power right off. No frog or no spinnerbait ever. So out of, I'm going to say, because he said it's one, this or that, you can't choose. Is my stuff all blurry? Get with it here, camera. I would go spinnerbait because I get on a good spinnerbait bite early in the year. Hoping the spinnerbait bite's going to be picking up here. I did catch a few the other day with Dizzle on the spinnerbait. So I would say spinnerbait. That was my first all-time, like, the lure that I got the most comfortable with, confidence bait, hands down, spinnerbait. And I know I've told the story a few times, but out fishing with Dad, he was amazing at throwing a Texas rig worm, his tequila sunrise worm. He would destroy me on a worm like that, dragging it, kind of like a Carolina rig, like we're talking about, flipping around trees and stuff. And I just could never, it was always hard for me to tell, is this a stick? Am I hitting rocks? Like, I couldn't translate what was happening down there to what was happening to me. And it just takes so much time, to learn that. I would just say to heck with it because, I'd try a jig, then I'd be getting hung up. I'm just like, I don't even know. So I would go with a spinnerbait, literally just chuck and wind a spinnerbait. And then I started to figure out, okay, so, Dad will be fishing a worm around this standing timber, and I'm getting a few bites on the spinnerbait. So, it's working good around this wood and, trying to get it closer to wood, and you figure out where it works and doesn't. So for me, it just kind of out of necessity because I didn't really know what I was doing with a lot of stuff. Spinnerbait kind of became a crutch. You don't have to feel the bottom. You can, you can chuck and wind it. So that for me is, it just became comfortable to me and I kept throwing it. So spinnerbait for me. Mr. Lopez, Lose or Abu for rods? I definitely own more Lose rods. Abu, I've been using the Veritas? The new Veritas. And I wanted to say I have one other new Abu. Maybe Randy had that and I used his. I can't remember. I'd have to go look. I had the, the Roxani combo. That's a combo, so I don't really count that as like a specific rod. Abu's got good rods. Randy actually has a lot of Abu rods. He's a big Abu fan. The rods I've used of theirs have been good. I had the black and red one was my frog rod for a long time, the $79 one. I want to say that's the Vendetta. I think that's the Vendetta. $79. Awesome frog rod. Never had a problem with it. I did have one of the Micro Guide Veritas rods. It was junk. I didn't like it. I ended up giving that away. I broke one of the little Micro Guides, and I heard from a lot of other people the Micro Guides on them stunk. But the regular Veritas, I've never had a problem. And I think I have the new frogging one. I had the old frogging one, and then a jig one, like a 7'2" heavy or something like that. I never had a single issue with any of them. So I enjoyed the new one. I was just using that the other day in a video not too long ago, throwing that G-Crack Bellows gill. So for me, Lose, just because I have more, would be my pick, but they both make some good stuff out there. Nowadays, like, the companies have stepped up their game, and they can put so much into a $100 rod. I feel like there's not that disconnect like there was, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, where, a cheap rod, you could definitely tell the difference between that and a more expensive one. As you step up now, even slightly past $100, like, those are really solid rods. Once you start getting $200, $300, $400, $500, you're cutting hairs on, you might take, 1 ounce off here, or, certain things that kind of come and go. But for the money now, I would be fine using $100 rods and reels forever. Kern River Rod, talk about another awesome supporter. Thank you for the 20 bomb, brother. Okay, Kern River Rod says, with Dizzle in a boat or on the bank? With Dizzle, is it better fishing in a boat or on the bank? I wish we could do more boat fishing. We honestly have only fished from the boat, I think, twice ever together. When I've stole my old man's boat, I want to steal that more. I said I was going to do that this year and didn't. It's like a 40-minute drive for me to get to his house. So it's like I have to either plan ahead and get the boat, or in the summer, that's really hard because I'm already getting up at like 4:30 to get to the place, when the sunrise is at 5:30 or whatever, super early. So that means I'd have to get up 40 minutes earlier than that even. It's like 3:30. Like, it's hard for me to do that. I wish we could fish out of a boat more. I would like to. I think there's days where we're having kind of crummy bank days where if we had access to the whole lake and could go around and try to mimic the couple bites that we've had, we would do a lot better. That's the tough part with bank fishing, is you're limited as to where you can get. So it's not like you can just hop in the boat and go all over and try to replicate the pattern that you've had. You know, you only have a few fishing jetties or a few open spots that aren't completely flooded with, you know, timber and poison ivy and everything else where you can't even get through. And even if you could, you don't have enough room to actually cast. So generally 99% of the time we're going to be fishing together on the bank. Either way is a good day if I'm fishing with Dizzle. He is the fishing friend. I appreciate everything he does and has done for me. He's a good cat. Except ditching me for his old lady lately. Michael, another good supporter. Thank you, brother, for the donation. Fishing partner, Tackle Junkie or Bass Geek? Oh, Lord. Okay, it depends. If I had to talk, I would certainly choose Jim because I wouldn't be able to get a word in against Bass Geek, talking-wise. If I needed to fish deep and learn to fish deep, I would for sure choose Bass Geek. Jim and I fish a lot of the same type stuff, so I feel like we'd go out and we'd be pretty much doing the same thing. We wouldn't butt heads on anything. If it were Hank and I on the boat, I think we should do this. And he'd be like, no, I think we should fish 87 feet of water and throw this sort of 17-ounce swim bait or whatever the hell he's throwing out there. But, man, I would love to fish with either of those guys. I was hoping we could do that this year. Get together. I knocked it off again. There's a little ledge there. I was hoping we could do that this year and get together. It never worked out. I'm hoping next year. Jim's only like 4 hours from me, which I didn't know until that short time ago that it was only that distance. What else do we have? Oh, my guy Dersh. Thank you very much, brother. Are you working now? Let's see what he say. Sean Z had a good question. Smallmouth or largemouth? I think smallmouth get the slight edge over largies. Well, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you donating and supporting. Apparently you're not working tonight, or if you are, you're on lunch. Okay, so the deal is I do think smallmouth fight harder. So especially if you can catch some river smallies, like river fish are built different. Randy preaches that. I honestly don't fish the river enough. Smallies are a ton of fun. I've actually got a video coming up. It should be next week. Brando and I got out on his boat and I caught, I think, like 3 or 4 smallies. All of them were right about a pound, but on like a medium light rod, spinning rod that I was using, throwing a, I think, wacky rig that day. Go figure. I want to say wacky rig. Man, they pull and they're mean. Out of my knowledge of fishing and where I have to fish around here, I would choose largemouth because like I've grown up fishing largemouth. I know where they're at around here. We have a lot of the small lakes that are pretty much just predominantly largemouth. I know we've got some smallmouth fisheries around, but I just don't know like their patterns and the certain things. And, you know, if I were to go up north, you know, to fish with like Ben Nowak or those guys up there, I don't have the first thing, you know, I don't have the first idea about going out and finding them on boulders and, you know, doing that deeper type fishing that they do. So largemouth for me because I know I'm comfortable with them. Got lots of them around here to fish. I think I saw another one. Oh, my guy, Braden Smith, another good supporter. Braden, I still have your reel for you. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do it, but I do have a reel coming for you, brother. So he said drop shot or glide baits. Oh, man. Apparently you were watching the Rudd live last night. Dude, I don't even know. So, I mean, I've fished drop shots and caught fish on drop shots. They just take 42 minutes to retie. And I like the idea of a drop shot. Like, it makes sense. Finicky fish in places where you don't have, you know, you've got like that gravel or, you know, smaller chunk rock. Fishing a drop shot is actually pretty fun. It's fine. But glide baits, I still haven't caught a fish on a glide bait yet. I haven't figured out the glide bait game. I was joking with Rudd on his channel. Like, man, I can paint you some sweet glide baits. Can't tell you how to catch a fish on one, though. So I did tie up a big glide bait that I just painted up, got finished and everything for tomorrow. Hopefully I can throw it around in the John boat. I won't be afraid of losing it. So we'll see. Fun question there, Braden. What else do we have? I think we're about out of questions there. I would have to go all the way back up and look for some stuff. So let's get to some more of these. Thank you all so much for the donations. Y'all don't need to do that, but I appreciate it. All right, Mac, what else did you send me here? Spring fishing or fall fishing? For sure spring fishing because I know cold weather is behind me and I've got good spring bite coming up. You know, you've got spawn, summer. I love summer fishing. It's my favorite. And then you get into fall. Fall fishing can be amazing, but here in Iowa, it seems like fall is here and gone quick. So I know that means winter's around the corner, and I don't like winter. So spring. Okay, the next one he said, this is a bigger mistake question, this or that bigger mistake. Changing lures too much or not changing lures enough. This or that, what's the biggest mistake you make? I would say not changing lures enough. So if we, like, for example, if I talk about frog fishing, because I absolutely love a frog blow up, to me, there's nothing better to get your blood pumping than a good frog blow up. Is this doing weird things because of that light there? Maybe I just killed it. Anyway, I get a couple good frog blow ups and I'm like, dude, I can burn a whole day throwing this frog. Also, from the YouTube side of things, I think I've kind of talked to you all about this before. Doing a video, like my videos seem to flow better and I get better feedback from people and more views when I do a video where it's like focused on one thing. So if I get on, like today I got on a fluke bite. So I pretty much just kept that stuck in my hand and fished that fluke so that it can be a video about catching fish on a fluke or a spinnerbait or whatever. So no, sometimes I kind of fall down into those holes of I'm thinking, man, I got to keep the bite on this spinnerbait going or the bite on this topwater going, you know, whatever it is, so that video flows and makes sense. Because it's hard for me if I catch like 2 fish on a spinnerbait, 2 fish on a Texas rig, 2 fish on a shaky head, 2 fish on a fluke. Like, what am I going to call that video? You know, what's the flow of that video going to be? Like, I don't know. So out of I guess being selfish for making YouTube videos, I will stick with a bait way too long oftentimes. So when I was younger, for sure, it used to be switching baits every like 10 casts because I had all these cool lures and I wanted to just keep going through looking for that magical lure that was, you know, going to help me beat dad that day. Oh, the fun times, the fun times. Is it Ramon? I believe Ramon Outdoors with the donation. Thank you very much, brother. Another good supporter. If you have a question, leave it, man. I will be up here. Did you have a question? Fish all day, but you can only cast one-handed with your offhand, or fish all day regularly, but every other cast is a bird's nest. You can only fish one-handed with your offhand. I don't even know how I would do that. Like, really, the only way I think I could do that would be like dragging a bait, so like a Texas rig or a jig. Like, I'll oftentimes flip it out there and just like flip the reel handle. I don't have, believe it or not, I don't have a reel here by me. That'd be another good reason to fish with Jim, because he has every lure and reel ever made at his disposal, so he could do show and tell. But I'll throw it out there and then just click the handle over with like my middle finger below, and then just kind of spin the handle to bring in slack line. So doing that all day, I couldn't throw cast and retrieve lures, so it'd be like popping a stick bait or something like that. I think I would rather do that than deal with a backlash or a bird's nest every other cast, because that's no fun. So that's my answer. That's a tough one. That's mean. It's not even fun. My guy Kyle Skaggs, another man. You all are too dang nice on supporting me. I appreciate you all. Just wanted to say thanks for all you do. Well, brother, thank you so much for the donation. It means a lot. I appreciate everything that you all do. I wouldn't be sitting here doing live if it wasn't for all you. So, okay, let's get back to some questions. Let me know in the comments. Is this fun? I did a what is it that my girls play? Oh, what the hell's the game that they play? I did one of those last year and it was actually a lot of fun. This would be a lot more fun if I had somebody on here with me, because I guarantee we're going to get different options or different answers. And I know that's going to spark stuff. Randizzle's not ashamed of sharing his viewpoint. So I guarantee we'd be Jack John back and forth. What is that called where you like, if you could only eat hamburgers for the rest of your life, or you could only eat pizza? What is that game called? My girls play it all the time. Would you rather? Would you rather? Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, so I did a Would You Rather last year, and that was actually a lot of fun. So comment, let me know. Do you all like this? Is this a fun thing to do, this or that type fishing questions, Would You Rather type stuff? We can do some more spinoffs of this. I also had an idea from someone. I forget who it is. I'd have to go look through Instagram. But he said, hey, the thing you did with Alex was really cool, like tiering the lures. He said, but would you do a live where you pick either like from that list, like take a screenshot of Alex's, if he'd let me do that, I'm sure he would. Take a screenshot of that and put it on here, and then pick like each lure that we had there. So like, I'm trying to remember what was in the top tier. spinnerbait, stick bait, like a Senko, pick those and then say like what my exact pick would be. So like for a spinnerbait, like you can only pick one. Would it be like I just recently caught it on a Cumberland Pro Lure spinnerbait? Would that be the only like spinnerbait you could throw, and in what color? So I'd have to do that for like each lure on the list and category. I thought that'd be kind of fun to pick specifics, because he's like, it's cool that you were telling like the broad category, but he's like, there's so many different lure options out there. He's like, I was just kind of confused. I'm like, yeah, that's a valid point. You know, we were just kind of doing generic fishing information for fall baits, but it would be fun to do one like that and dive in more specific and get into like the actual color that I use the most, or, you know, the actual setup, that kind of stuff. So let's see if we can get an answer. Ronald said, if we can get an answer. I don't know. Did you ask a question that I missed last time? Oh, apparently I did miss some. I'm sorry. Well, I see it now. He asked last time, LOL, what do you think of bladed jigs? So it's not a this or that question, just a generic question. I love bladed jigs. I think it's going to be hard for me to put down that cross-eyes weedless bladed jig that Z-Man put out, because it's got those 2 wires on it. And I've had actually 2 really good days where I've brought it over wood and I haven't got it snagged on its own, like just fishing it. I don't want to spoil the ending, but something happens at the video that actually might drop next week too. I might drop 4 videos next week, fishing videos. But something kind of opposite of what you would think happened with a weedless bladed jig. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but I really like that one a lot. But yeah, I haven't thrown like the jackhammer. I know everybody oohs and ahs over the jackhammer. I haven't thrown it enough because it's $18 and I lose bladed jigs hands down more than anything out there. So, but the Thunder Cricket, it's specific to Tackle Warehouse, is the only place you can get it. The Z-Man Custom. I love that one. I think for the money, that's the best bang for the buck. You get it on a Tackle Warehouse sale and you can get them for like $5 basically a piece. So essentially the price of a regular with some upgrades. So I've got people saying, yes, this is fun. I like it. This is a cool way to do it. This or that. Oh, so that's a couple questions. Iowa or Iowa State? Tom, I think that's a silly question, my friend. Let's see. Yes, this is fun. Okay, so I think the consensus, this is pretty fun. We've got 194 people on. I figured we wouldn't have a bajillion people on tonight with it being college football and stuff. And people are jumping on and probably seeing just me, and they're like, oh, just Debo. There's no cool other person to help him. This dude's boring as hell. And they're jumping out. Maybe they just don't like my shirt. Probably a bunch of Iowa State fans. Matt and his buddies are rallying against me to cancel the Debo Fishing Live. Yeah, Sean. Is it Lai? Sean Lai. I love that cross-eyes chatterbait. Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of that thing. Let's see, what else? A couple questions, this or that. Okay, Nathan said, this or that. Stop YouTube or start giving us more videos a week. Love the content. Stop YouTube. So which would I rather do? Would I rather stop YouTube or would I rather do more videos a week? Oh, for sure do more videos a week. Like if I could, I would be trying to put out a minimum 4 videos a week. This week, I think I only got 2 out. And sometimes it's just timing. Like I had a 3rd one pretty much all done. I got the rest of it done today. So I just missed yesterday because like Monday, Wednesday, Friday do the best. Videos on the weekends just kind of tank, you know, because people are now watching football and doing stuff. So I like to have them on the weekdays. It gives people something to do, you know, give them a little break from work or whatever they're doing. But yeah, man, if I could, without a doubt, I would definitely make 4 more videos a week. If I can figure out a way, I know I've said this before, and I guess we're kind of going off topic again, but, you know, people used to ask me a lot, do you ever think this is going to be a full-time thing you're doing? And I'm like, no, like, I know that would take way too much. Like, I could never make enough money. And now as I keep growing, you know, that's a possibility. You know, if I could find a couple paying sponsors that I could really get behind and partner with, like Do It, I partner with Do It, and I am more than happy with those folks. Super nice. You know, they appreciate my input, value my input. So, you know, a couple places like that, and I'd be down. You know, I'm not just down to grab anything that's going to pay money. Like if I'm putting me and my name behind it, it has to be stuff that I use, and I'm okay telling you people that I use it and like it. I'm just not about grabbing places that are going to give me money. Not my deal. But I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, making more videos. Yes. Creek and Trail is another good supporter. Slipknot or Mushroom Head? Brother, that's a silly question. I'm from Iowa. Love me some Slipknot. They're a top 3 favorite band for me. Korn, Slipknot, and I don't know who would be number 3. That'd be really hard to pick. I'm a huge Ozzy fan. I think it would have to be Ozzy. But I don't know. I mean, there's so many good ones out there. Metallica, you've got, I mean, I don't know. That's hard. Okay, let's get back to some more questions. As you guys and gals think of questions, drop them in the comments. And if there's one that I've missed, like Ronald, call it out, or somebody else call it out. Hopefully I'm going to see one of you. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? What do we have for time? We're 35 minutes in. I was going to say we're probably 20 minutes in. Okay, let's burn through a couple. Some of these are pretty easy. So he said, most annoying, skeeters or leaderers. So mosquitoes biting me or people who litter. Gosh, like I can't control other people. Like they're going to do that. So even though I get really pissed at that when I see it, and especially now, like every sort of fishing jetty you go on, there's one of those little round, like cardboard paper things of worms, or like a little styrofoam worm thing everywhere. And it's so annoying. Like I used to take like a little Walmart bag with me and pick up trash. Now there's just so much. And I had to stop doing it a couple of years ago because you get to so many places. I was spending more time picking stuff up, walking back and forth, that I only have limited time to get out and fish. So selfishly, I've honestly stopped doing that just out of time's sake. But mosquitoes, like I absolutely hate mosquitoes and ticks for sure. For me, it's going to be mosquitoes. Like I hate getting bit by mosquitoes. I hate them. Mosquitoes and ticks are disgusting. This, that, or the other thing. So this is a 3-parter. Monofluoro or Braid. You can only pick one forever. Monofluoro or Braid. I would honestly have to say monofilament because you can fish anything on it. You can go with a little heavier rod or a little faster action rod to kind of help negate that stretch, because obviously mono is the stretchiest. So if you think of straight braid, to me, I think fish can see it. So I'm going mono. Plus it's cheap. Mono casts really well. You get like the old, I don't know if you can see my big box of it. I've got a huge box back there still of the Trilene XL, the red box, super smooth, casts really easy. Like, I mean, one of the cheapest, best lines out there for starting. So for me, mono. And think back to the pros. The pros were using mono forever and catching huge fish, so. This one I caught out of the corner of my eye. We have to get our weekly Guggen question in. Thoughts on Guggen baits? Hey, we got a Guggen question this week. I don't go far off the edge on either side, one way or another. I've tried some of their baits that I like. Some of them I don't really care about at all. Like, I don't get into the who copied this crap. Like, I haven't gone down all that. I think they're hardworking dudes. I think there's a lot of jealousy from them working their way up. Like, I think people were like have the misconception that they were just handed that, but I mean, they've busted their butts. You look at some of their old videos, they were horrible, like young kids, like stupid videos, and I'm sure they got all sorts of, ridicule online and stuff, and they fought through it and said, to heck with it, we're going to keep doing videos. And look at them now. They're some of the biggest, fishing names out there. So the two that I've used and actually really liked is, the Rattling Ned. I've actually had a lot of good luck on that. And the Trench Hog. I think it's a cool, different profile and style bait that you don't really see a lot. That skinny kind of worm looking almost thing, but it's got that kind of creature vibe and like really long, kicky, like craw appendages. I know Randy's been using it actually as a chatterbait trailer and really likes it. So that's me. Other like the Bandito bug, I could care less about it. I'm trying to think what else. I think I tried like a Slim Shake or something, and it ripped up in no time. So some of them I'm just like, but some of them I think they've got some cool stuff. What else do we have? Okay, baits. So that he said just in general, weedless baits, or he said, or weed more open hook baits. So like baits where you have, like, if you think like a jig, like with a brush guard, like weedless, quote unquote, I would assume is what he's saying, or like a belly weighted swim bait hook where you can like, text pose it in the top, or like a Texas rig versus things with an open hook. So like treble hook baits, you know, an open hook Ned rig. For me, and this kind of goes back to a lot of the places I fish, I love to fish grass. I love to fish wood. And both of those don't play real well with open hooks. So there are, you know, circumstances where you can do that and get away with it. But in general, most of the time, I'm going to go with something weedless. Let's see. What else do we have? Anything I'm missing? Braden said, do super chats disappear after the timer is up? They disappear after the top of my thing, on the top of my thing. Yes. So did I miss one? If I miss one, make sure you all call that out. I'm sorry if I did. I want to make sure I always call all those out. Anybody that is nice enough to throw in some money. Oh, I think I did. I think I missed 2 of them. Okay. So Kyle was the last one. Braden, thank you so much for calling that out, man. Your channel has taught me so much, made me laugh, and recently got through a failed engagement. Damn, man. I am sorry to hear that. Fishing got me out of the house and sort my thoughts. Dude, if it wasn't for fishing this year and last year, I would for sure be in a much different place. I can confidently say that, and not in a good way. You know, like a lot of you, I've battled with anxiety, depression, like even before this. And especially with all the craziness, you know, and stuff that started last year and stuff that I've had going on personally in my family. It's been hard. Like I saw somebody shared a picture of like our neighborhood when we were kids. They said, man, stuff changes, huh? And I'm like, dude, the stuff like that you take for granted, you know, I used to go out and, you know, be out after dark as a kid, you know, playing and doing stuff. Now I think of that like as my kids out doing that, you know, clear way down the way at that age. Like I'm like, no way, you girls are in by a certain amount of time, stay in the yard, you know? So I don't know, man. I hear you out there. Keep your head up, dude. I don't want to say things happen for a reason, but if you reason with yourself why the things happen, you'll get through it. So that was something my mom always said was, you know, things happen for a reason. She's like, find the good in it and move through it. So to me, I've kind of adapted it to things don't necessarily happen for a reason. Things are going to happen that you're out of your control, and it's just how you deal with it, dude. So I know how you feel. I'm in the same boat with a lot of that stuff. So I appreciate the donation, man. Keep your head up. Keep moving forward. Keep fishing. It has helped keep me sane as well. Mr. Lopez again with the donation. Thank you very much, sir. 7.3 heavy Abu Vendetta for frogs, jigs, flipping and pitching. Buy or don't buy. I think it was the 7.3 or 7.4 Abu Vendetta that I used for frogs specifically. I guess I could actually, I forget I can do the share thing on here. I can share with you all. Let's do this. We'll go to Tackle Warehouse. I'll share my screen. And here. It's funny. I don't know how I saved Tackle Warehouse to my homepage, but apparently it was on Strike King Rage Tails or Rage Craws. So whenever I see these, I always scroll down for some reason to see if they have like new colors or whatever. I don't know why. It's like I've looked at that 18 million times, but okay. So casting rods. Oops, you all can't see it. Can you? Okay, I'm on it. I want to make sure I was there. Let's see. Casting rods, Abu Garcia, Vendetta. Yeah. Oh, they've got them on closeout. So that must be the old version. Do they have a new version? Oh, yeah, those new Vendettas look sweet. I don't know if you've got the new one. I was actually talking to Randy about this, and I said, dude, those new, the Veritas or the Vendettas, like that all black. I'm super boring when it comes to rods. It was actually the Veritas. Yeah, that all black Veritas. Dude, that thing looks slick. I'm really boring when it comes to rods, and I love and reels. I love just like an all black. But for this, let's see if they have this at the 7.3. Yeah, it must have been the 7.3 heavy. It wasn't the 7.6. So I don't know. Do they have that old one on closeout? If I show it on here and everybody goes and buys them before you, I'm sorry if they beat you to it. What is this? 7-foot medium. So you must be getting it somewhere else. Yeah, I think it was the 7.3 heavy. It definitely wasn't over 7.3 or 7.4. So that's what I used for frogging for, I want to say 1 or 2 years. I don't remember what it was. But I didn't have any issues with it. Yeah, it was like a 70. I think I got it at my local Walmart for like $70. For whatever reason, my local Walmart's a little bit cheaper. I was using the Caius combo today, which I've heard like Academy and other places is like $120. My Walmart had it for $98. So no, check Walmart too. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't turn up a nose at that. It was a good rod for me. And if you want to get a little extra sensitivity, get comfortable with tying a good connection knot, and you can just keep that braid on there for frog and run like 50-pound braid. And then you can tie like a fluorocarbon leader if you want to do like jigs or, pitching a Texas rig around. If you're, kind of in stained water where it's not super dirty, you don't want to use straight braid. But having a braid with a leader, man, it makes it way more sensitive than going, just straight fluoro. What else? Did I miss any other ones? Okay, so I got Kyle's. I got Braden's. Mr. Lopez. Did I miss any others? I thought I saw one pop up. Was it Top Cat? Was he the last one? We just scroll through here. Sorry, it's not fun watching me scroll. I think it was Top Cat. If I missed someone, let me know. Top Cat. Afghan vet feeling super depressed today. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Thank you very much for your service, though. Thanks for the get off your mind off stuff. No need to read live. Just appreciate it. Oh, well, I'm sorry, man. I'll take that off. Dude, and again, I know how it goes, man. I have good days and bad days. I've talked to a bunch of people about that who, like, it literally makes my day when I get those comments on Instagram and stuff that said, hey, watching your videos, inspired me to get out and fish. Like, you literally made my day better. I'm just a guy who fishes. Like, and that's truly what keeps me going in YouTube. I'm not in it for clout. I'm not in it to be the most sought after, famous YouTube angler. Like, for me, it's blown my mind that I've gotten even a tenth of what I've done on here. And when I see comments like that, dude, it makes my day. So keep your head up, brother. Never back down. Keep moving forward. You know how that is. We all battle stuff. We all battle our own demons. So let's see. A couple questions about some specific rods. I don't really want to get into that stuff because I can go down some more rabbit holes with those. Let's get back to Max questions. Okay, so this or that, or the other thing. So it's another three-parter. Crankbaits, a one knock, or a silent. So like your regular rattle crankbait, a one knocker, which is going to have like a hard, deep kind of thud to it, or silent. Honestly, I've been using more one knock type baits because it seems like everybody and their sister's, grandma's, aunt are throwing regular rattles. So you see more of the one knocker stuff. There's like a tungsten, is it a tungsten 2-tap? I think Strike King has. I want to say in the Strike King Sexy Dog, it's a hard knock or something they call it. But that one ball sound, almost like the old spooks have that like one knock in it. I've been throwing those more. However, I think I need to put a lot more time in with silent crankbaits because there's been a couple days where I have outfished Randy a bunch. And I'm not picking on Randall, just it happened to be we're out together. And that was the only thing we could think of. Like, my color pattern was a little bit different. We were throwing like a same shadish of shad / bait fish. And mine was silent and his wasn't. His was just the regular. So, maybe it's hard to, we didn't have a control. Mine could have had just a little bit different action that they liked. It could have been getting just to a tad deeper spot. I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell with a lot of those. That's what makes fishing hard to me, I guess, to pinpoint that stuff. But I think silent crankbaits fly under the radar a lot and don't get used enough because people, you think a crankbait, you want it to rattle, you want it to drive those fish in. But I mean, you've got the water displacement of that kicking back and forth. They're going to feel that vibration. And if everybody's going down the bank throwing a regular rattling crankbait and you throw something that's just a little bit more natural looking, it doesn't have that big loud clank. I don't know. So that's just kind of my thoughts on that. What else? Morning or evening? I am for sure a morning guy. Evening fishing is fun, but it's like you're just racing against the clock. I know with morning fishing, I love getting up and the drive there early morning. I don't know why. I'm just listening to the radio, listening to rock music, and driving, thinking about, okay, what am I going to throw? What am I going to do? Like, putting the game plan together, and I still get like giddy anxiety, like excitement, before I get there, because I'm like, oh man, I hope this is what plays out. I've got this plan. If that doesn't work, what am I going to do if this doesn't happen? So for me, early morning, and you can just keep fishing throughout the day. It might get tough around noon or whatever, but it's not like you're fighting that the sun going down where you have to stop. I suppose you could night fish, but it's really hard to film night fishing stuff. Pond hop or one big lake? I know he said you can't use it depends on this stuff, but the big factor to me is if because I'm assuming he's talking bank fishing, what my accessibility is like. So if I can go to all these ponds and they're open versus a huge lake that's only got like 2 spots I can fish, I'd rather just pond hop. If I'm on a lake that's like all cut down around the outside of it and I can fish pretty much anything, I'd rather fish that big lake and pick it apart. If it's not one of those lakes where they're all out way deep, some of the like the impoundment lakes, man-made lakes and reservoirs that we have around here, you get 6, 7, 10 feet off the bank and it's already 18 feet down. Right. And that's hard to bank fish. So yeah, kind of depends. It's going to depend on accessibility. I don't care. Either one. Bigger mistake, not retying or not bringing snacks. I'm actually really bad about not eating all day unless we drive by like a Casey's or something. I'm like, dude, let's stop. But I would for sure rather not have snacks and eat for a day and fish all day through than not retie and break off fish, because I absolutely flipping hate that. Mr. Galloway with the donation. Best swimmer, Miyagi, dippers, or Kitex? For sure it's going to be the dippers for me. Small little dippers, you can do so much with those. Swim jig trailers, chatterbait trailers, you can, underspin, flash. Like, there's so many things you can do with those, and I've just had the best luck out of those, hands down. I love those. I have my PB 7-pounder on the Miyagi, and Kitex flat out catch fish. They just don't have ability. So that's kind of how I rank them. But I've said it on here before, Reaction Innovations, if you're watching, if you want to sponsor me, and bring a truckload of dippers over here and dump them in my driveway, I'll give you my address. They still haven't done that yet, just so you know. Let's see. Frog or all other topwaters? Oh, so my choice is this or that. Frog or every other topwater out there. Oh my gosh. It depends if the question is, and I know he said you can't do the depend stuff, like just your favorite, or what do I think I'm going to catch fish on all day? Gosh, I had a favorite, no question, frog, but I think he's saying if you have to choose, gosh, I think I'd go everything else. I know you all think I'm sick, but I go everything else just because I can go with like a frog buzzbait. I can go with those little frog, and I'm assuming he's talking about like a topwater frog, like a walking frog that I use. Maybe he's not. There's other things I can use to mimic those topwater type frogs or buzzbaits and fish those as opposed to a frog. But I don't know, man. That's like asking my favorite tater chip color, flavor. Love them all. Okay, no trailer on any bait or a trailer on every bait. Oh, Lord. I don't know how you would put a trailer on a jerkbait or a square bill. Maybe like a little tiny grub. I could do that. Do like a little wax worm. That would count as a trailer, right? Okay, sold. I'll do trailer on every bait that I throw. And I might just be tipping the hooks with wax worms. Jerk bait, soft or hard? For me, for sure, hard jerk baits. I'm not the best jerk bait fisherman, but I've definitely had success, a lot more success with hard jerk baits to oppose like a fluke is what he's talking about, a soft jerk bait. More annoying, backlash or DEBO'S/Dizzle stealing your spot. So he thought both of us were going to be on tonight. What's more annoying? Well, I've already taken for granted that anytime I start catching fish, old Rand Dizzle's going to hornswoggle his way in there and creep in. So I would say the backlash is more annoying because you can't stop the Dizzle. He's always creeping around looking like Bigfoot, trying to get in front of me so he can catch some fish. Let's see. What do we have for questions? I think, yep, I did see a couple donations come in. Okay, so we got Top Cat again. Thank you very much, my good sir. How do you rig a straight shank flipping hook? How do you text pose or does it just sit in the plastic? EWG guy, but trying punching, not sure. I think I actually have some. I can show you that real quick. Yes, you just stick it in the plastic. Now back. See, this is where I wish Dizzle was here to give his fun commentary in between, making fun of me getting up. Okay, so these are, if you want to know, these are some 6 cents hooks. The ox flipping hook, they call it. This is a little 4/0. I like the 4/0 in these, and it seems like the flipping hooks you have to watch out because their 4/0 like isn't the same size as. I'm not just talking them. I'm talking anyone. Since it's a straight shank, it's not like the normal size of an EWG you would see. So when you're rigging this bad boy up, because you have to look at the hook when it's rigged up, so you can't rig it like your EWG. It's going to sit essentially in there like that. So I'm going to go in at a 45-degree angle ish, and depending on how big your keeper is, so you can see on the top of this flipping hook, it's got a little bit of a plastic keeper there. Your bait's going to sit up above that. Now you can rig this different ways to sit more in that. I know guys do this different ways, but usually I'm going to rig it about like that, so the plastic sits on top of there, and that's what keeps it held up to it. And then I'm going to take this, and depending on what sort of plastic you're using, usually I'm just going to take, I guess it'd be easier if I showed you this way. I'm going to take it, lay it next to it, kind of see where that is. It's hard to do this backwards because I've got the hook facing y'all. But I'm just going to kind of mark with my thumb where that goes right there. I'm going to just barely stick the hook point in, and then I'm just going to pull on the plastic. I'm going to take the plastic and pull that all down straight. And I want to just barely, I can just barely feel that hook point catch in there, just like that. And that's it. And that gives you a nice straight presentation. To me, you just have to hit them harder. You have to hit them with a lot more force and really mean it when you set the hook, because you've got to drive that hook through the plastic. You know, when you hit that fish, you've got to drive it all the way up through that plastic and get that bait out of the way. So it's not like an EWG where it's just laying there, you know, waiting for it. You've got to hit them, drive it through all that, and make sure you've got good penetration. So that's how you rig that up. It just kind of sits in there sort of 45 degrees and just hides in the plastic there for you. So thank you for the donation, man. Hopefully that helps out. I need to do another like hook video. That was, I think, the first video I ever did was rigging stuff. Let's see what else. I think there was another donation. Metania. Oh, here's an interesting one. Fishing with either Stefan or Steven. 2020 Metanium versus Corrado K. For the money, I don't think you can beat a Corrado, like just the regular Corrado K. Awesome reel. It's a workhorse. Super sturdy. Metanium, like the MGL that I have, I don't remember if they have other versions of that out, but the Metanium MGL, more for lighter baits. I mean, it is ridiculously smooth, but I think for everyday stuff, I'd rather just have a lineup of Corrado Ks versus Metaniums. Mr. Elmer, Stephen Elmer said, Casey's or Quick Star. I'm a Casey's guy. I love Casey's food. Casey's pizza, it's like a local legend, I guess you'd say. People like who are out of state don't know about it, but once you've had it, especially their breakfast pizza, their regular pizza is good, but I freaking love Casey's breakfast pizza. And biscuits and gravy. Their biscuits and gravy aren't very good, but I love biscuits and gravy. Nowhere else has them, so. Let's see. Here's an interesting one. James P. Break a rod or break a reel? I know I'm going to get into the depends, but usually if a reel breaks, I can fix it. You can order a part, you can fix it, good to go. Unless it's the tip of your rod, you can't really fix it. You've got to mess with warranty, turning it in. That's one good thing. I've talked about it on here a little bit, but people often ask about ordering stuff online and then having to do, you know, you break it, you've got to send it back for warranty. If you go to like a lot of the small mom and shop hops who are dealers, like for example, Randizzle, I think it was Hank's up in his area. He bought it from a St. Croix dealer. He brought it in and said, hey, I broke this. What do I need to do? He's like, I think it was like $50 or something. He paid him. They did everything for him. Hands off. He was done. Walked out the door. They said, we'll call you when we get it in. So they do all the paperwork. They send it back. And they've got more of a hand in it. And this is actually something that Baxter, the bait man, brought up, which is a great point. They've got a lot more push and persuasion in that to get it fixed than you trying to mess around with doing it, because they've already got a contact over there. They're already an established dealer. And they're selling their product. So they're like, hey, listen, you know, I'm selling X amount of rods over here. Help me out. Like, I've had this guy's rod for a month. So, yeah, I would usually rather just break a reel because I can fix it. I can get the part. Like if you missed my video a while back, I stripped the the main gear on my Daiwa Tatula 200. Bought the new main shaft. It took, I don't know, I was filming when I did it, so it took longer than normal, but it probably would have taken, I don't know, half hour to fix it. What else? Fishing the Southeast has a bunch of stuff in here. Everyone contact Reaction Innovations and tell them they need to sponsor Debo. You all don't need to do that. If they see me and love what Debo does, and notice that, did you even notice what I grabbed here? It was a sign. That's a Reaction Innovations Sweet Beaver right there. I think they even have the Reaction Innovations that says on their the tail. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I did notice this the other day. I don't know if that's always been there, but it says, if I can get it to focus, it says Reaction Innovations on the tail there. It's got a pretty lady sitting down by it. Yeah, they have some good stuff. I don't think they're going to be reaching out to sponsors, so that's okay. I did see this one, Shimano SLX or Lose Lfs. Man, that's a great question because both are awesome reels. Both are great beginner reels at that $100 price point. For me, it comes down to brakes. So I think the SLX feels more refined. I think it's a smoother reel. I would say the tolerances feel just a little bit tighter. However, it doesn't cast as far for me as the LFS, and it wasn't as easy for me to tune in. So you don't have to, with the LFS, it's just magnetic brakes. Like once you get that thing tuned in, you're good to go. The SLX, you have to pop it open. You've got to mess with the little centrifugal brakes, little pads, flip them up, flip them down. So I think if you're a newer person just starting out, I think the LFS is the way to go. But SLX, I've got a couple of them. Love them. Great reels. Most people here saying SLX, SLX, SLX. Lots of SLX fans. There's a reason it's that popular. Feels good, and it's definitely a good working reel. Okay, Mac, what other questions do we have here? We're getting to the end of his questions, so I'm going to open up open forum. We'll maybe go for an hour and a half. We've still got, 212 people in here. Dang, that is awesome. Listening to some random dude in his basement talk about fishing. Y'all amaze me. I love y'all. Let's see. Jerkbait. Okay, so we just did that one. The backlash. Okay, mimic. Would you rather mimic bait fish or a craw? Bait fish or a craw. Man, that is hard. Sometimes I don't know necessarily what they're targeting. I would say all in all, probably bait fish, because I think with so many bluegill lakes that we have around here, I'm often trying to mimic bluegill, I think, more. And I don't think it's as simple as bottom bait, crawfish, anything moving up above bait fish. I think you can get into those bluegill colors and still mimic that bluegill and fish it on bottom, if that makes sense. So I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into that question, but I'd rather mimic bait fish as long as we're putting bluegill in that. Let's see, this or that, or the other thing. So it's a three-part question. FG knot, Alberto, or double uni? Alberto for me all the way. My favorite for sure. All my spinning rigs, I use it. I've never had issues with it. Get comfortable with a good connection knot, and I guarantee you're not going to have problems. Just tie it, and if you don't know it, tie it a bajillion times until you know how to tie it. Online or in-store? Man, I hate going places shopping unless it's for fishing stuff. I do like going in. However, with my time constraints and traveling and everything, it's a lot easier for me to grab this and buy a bunch of fishing stuff. So for me, I'd rather just go online. I know Randy's answer right now would be, I don't know how you do it. I'm one of those guys that I have to get my hands on it. I have to feel it. I have to see what it's actually like in my hand before I buy anything. Dude hates buying stuff online. If he needs stuff, he's always like, hey man, if you're putting a tackle order, a warehouse order, would you pick up this for him? I'm like, dude, just freaking order from there. I don't like doing that. Oh, Randall, we miss you. Okay, buy more tackle or use what you have. Because the choice is you can either buy more tackle or only use what I have. I'm going to buy more tackle. I'm a tackle nerd. I buy way more than I need, but I love trying new stuff. And, a lot of the times they say the lure was made to catch the fisherman, not the fish. And I believe that in a lot of, certain circumstances and colors and stuff. But, man, there's baits that I would have never really thought about trying, if I hadn't branched out. I always go back to the Whopper Plopper. I wrote that thing off for so long, like, dude, that thing looks like a stupid gimmick. There's no way I buy one of those. I don't remember how it ever happened that I actually got one. Then I started throwing it and was just crushing on it. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool. And there's been a few lures like that where I've been hesitant, but yeah, I love the tackle shop. And it's like here in Iowa, it's like a necessity, because we freeze over. So then you can't go out open water fishing. So then you're sitting there dreaming of fishing. And then I keep going back into my tackle warehouse cart that's like $300 and I add stuff and then I'll delete everything and then refill it up again and think, what do I really need? And take stuff out. And it goes from like $50 to $300 every other day. I do it way too much. Let's see. Buy more tackle. Whoops. No, we just did that one. Gotta catch a fish. Are you using natural colors or bright colors? I'm usually more of a natural color guy. Like I said, if I can only pick one most of the time, that's going to be green pumpkin. Certain situations where the brighter colors definitely do better. Favorite spinnerbait color, white and chartreuse. And I'll throw that in slightly stained water all the way up to muddy stuff. Like white and chartreuse or an all white is my go-to. So it depends what it is. Crankbait colors, I usually get a little bit brighter, but if I can only pick one, I would say natural colors. Bank fishing, I can only take one rod with me or 10 rods. Oh my gosh. Oh, he knows I am a fan of bringing multiple combos. It felt weird today because I only essentially brought two rods. It felt really strange. Usually I'm like a 4 or 5 rod guy. I don't think I could manage 10 rods bank fishing all day. That's a lot. So I guess I'd have to say one rod. I better make a good pick. Okay, fish alone or fish with a friend? Generally, I like to fish with a friend. Of course, you see me and Dizzle a lot. My guy Brando, we fished quite a bit this year. Matt, he's the one that I said, unfortunately, he's a Cyclone fan. Matt, did you watch the game? Did the Hawks win? I don't know. I don't remember if they won or not today. I'd rather fish with someone. Most of the time, I love it. There are certain times where I want to go out and be alone, just clear my head. But most of the time, it's fun if I can just, shoot the breeze with someone and catch fish. Now, the next one, fish alone or fish with 5 friends. That would be way too annoying for me. 5 people out there, like I like to enjoy fishing. I couldn't do 5 people, so it'd be alone all day. Last two questions here. Then I'm going to open it up. We're going to do open forum, do a few fun questions. Should I do a giveaway? I've got 215 people on, and we're over an hour in. There's bigger channels than mine, people who are more popular than me, I guess I'd say, in the scene, who struggle to get that, I feel like. So that's pretty damn awesome. I'll do a giveaway. I'll think of something here in a second. And I don't know if I said, I am giving Mac a giveaway package. And why I bring that up, it's not to rub it in everybody's face, but when you continue to support me, he continued to drop donations almost every stream, and it was always this or that stuff. Like, I noticed that stuff. I go through comments. That's why I have subscribed Fishing Friends. I notice the people who support me. So I try to give back to those people that support me. It does mean a lot to me. People like Mac, the people that I named off before dropping donations, it means a lot. So his 25th question. Okay, knowledge. So if you could pick the knowledge that you have now, keep that, or the excitement that you got as a kid catching fish, which would it be? For sure, the knowledge that I have now, because there are still days, not every day. There's some days where I'm like, I didn't really want to go out, and it might be a dink here or there, and I'm kind of grinding. But when you catch a good fish, I still get just as excited as when I was a little kid. Like, I love catching fish. And with the knowledge that I have now, catching a fish before, a lot of time, it was literally just luck because I didn't know what I was doing a lot of the times. I'd be just trying stuff. So that was fun. I definitely got a lot of excitement out of those, but man, the knowledge is power. Okay. His last question, bigger mistake, forgetting your GoPro or forgetting your frogging rod? For sure, forgetting the GoPro. I can't tell you how many times I've got to the lake. And for me, a lot of the places around here are like an hour drive. So I drive an hour, get there, and I'm like, oh, I'm excited to go fishing. I got up at the butt crack of dawn. Before that, to get there, hour drive, I get there, and then I notice I don't have my freaking GoPro. And I'm like, are you kidding? And I'm not going to risk going out and fishing without a GoPro. Like, I feel naked. It feels weird. And I guarantee the time I do that, I'm going to catch my PB and not be able to share it. So it's like, well, I got to turn around and go get my GoPro. Like, it's the worst feeling. It just zaps everything out of you. Then I get home and I'm like, should I just stay home? Like, do I even go back out? I'm like, I feel like I guess I'm going to go. So, Mac, thank you very much. You said he was going to watch the recording. I will get you a package out, and I will write that down here with whoever I pick as. Got my old Murica notebook here. Whoever's going to be the winner tonight, how are we going to pick a winner tonight? What do you all think? Oh, I forgot I can do the thing that Gramps showed me. Thanks for showing that, Gramps. I haven't seen him in here. I think he started his trip, right? He flew out today. He's doing the cross-country deal with his son. If I go to StreamYard, whoops, I forgot those hooks were there. StreamYard.com/giveaway. Okay, so we'll have to pick a text. What shall it be? What should we put in here? I don't think I'm going to do a trivia question. I think we'll just do a random thing. We're going to do hashtag $fish. So hashtag or the $FEESH for you old guys out there that still call that the pound sign or the number sign. Did that go through? Did my comment go up there? Oh, there we go. Fish. So hold on. Don't type it in yet. Hashtag FEESH. Okay, so I just put it in. If you put that in before I just said that, put it in there again. It takes out the duplicates. So if you put it in 15 times, it's only going to count you once. So if you put it in before I said, put it in again now, and I'm going to pick somebody here in just a little bit as a random giveaway winner. It's just going to be a random package of cool stuff. I didn't have anything planned. I don't have any of my own lures ready. I'm sorry. But I'll throw some cool stuff in. Man, I just got bombarded with donations. Damn, thank you all so much. Let's go through. We're going to do some donation questions. Okay, I think I was just scrolling through one and said wind all day or not. I would choose wind all day. Wind is my friend. I know as somebody fishing from, well, it doesn't matter where you're fishing from. Casting into the wind can kind of be a pain in the butt. But once you master it, man, wind is definitely your friend. Most of the time for me, I would rather fish in some wind. Now, not like tornadic wind, but G-Fan, good supporter. I see you over at the Burley channel a lot too when I'm on there. Fishing with your great-grandfather or with your great-great-grandson. Yes, you can time travel. Oh, my gosh. I never got to meet my great-grandfather. Oh, great-great, too. So we're going back, too. Oh, I think I would rather do great-great-grandfather. That would be super cool to see. Simpler times. Who knows what it's going to be when my great-great-grandson's around. They could be fishing with, like, Tesla has made some automatic fish heat-seeking hooked lure. Who knows what the hell it'll be then. Great-great-grandfather would be cool. It would be, and plus, can you imagine there wouldn't have been the huge bass fishing scene. You imagine how many huge monster bass were out roaming around? Giants. You've seen those old-timey pictures where they're holding up monster fish before they all got fished out. Yeah, great-great-grandfather. That'd be so cool to talk with him and talk about the old days. I feel like I'm kind of an old soul. I'm kind of like Paul, if you watch Burley fishing. He's kind of an old guy. I'm very old in a lot of that stuff. Like, I love old Westerns. The old-timey days just have always interested me. Let's see. There was a few donations that went in. Michaela Thomas, great live. Well, Michaela, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate the 20 bomb. If you have a question, make sure you leave it. That's a darn good donation. I would like to answer whatever question you have. My guy, Mr. William Randall Sully, super good dude. He is also a big supporter on the channel. This or that. Fishing trip with the girls or the old lady. You can't pick Mr. Stubbs or break your rods to come home early. Oh, man. Okay, so I've done both, and I would say the old lady. Simply because the girls are a ton of fun to fish with, and when they get that catch, get way more excited. However, I've got a good 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes before they start to completely burn out, and then there's a good chance that there's going to be a meltdown or a fight. Something's going to happen. Usually it's throwing rocks in the water, then that gets to throwing rocks on the ground, then throwing rocks at each other, and with my old lady, we treat it like a fun little date night and go catch some fish. So I think that'd be cool. Good question, sir. Let's see. Riley. Whoops. Quit moving on me. It was Riley, and then everything started scrolling all over. Really? It's all filled up with fish. Well, damn it. I can't even see Riley's now. Riley, what was your question? You don't need to say, or you don't need to donate again. Why did it completely skip over you? There was too many fish comments in there. Riley, what was your question? I will get to it. Thank you for the donation. I didn't even see how much it was. Ramon Outdoors, catch a state record, but you can't make a video about it ever, or help your friend catch a state record and you can make a video. Oh, for sure, friend. I would much rather help Randall catch a state record, film it. Dude, Randall would be, dude, that'd be crazy. So the Iowa state record is like 10 pounds. I want to say 12 ounces is our state record. That's been, I don't remember who it was. And I believe it's a female angler. I think I was one of the few that actually has a female angler with the state record. Dude, I couldn't imagine. If I was with Randy, I guarantee he would probably faint and pee his pants if he caught a fish that big. It'd be insane. So thank you for the donation, man. That would be a ton of fun. Let's see. And I did see a couple other. Matt Erickson, I can't see your comment. I can't put it up, but I can see it up at the top. Missed the last couple lives, so here's a catch-up donation. Awesome content as always with a $10 donation. Mr. Erickson, thank you, sir. I always see you in the comments. I appreciate you dropping the donation. That is very nice of you, sir. And the last one, Bass and Chill, right here. Best advice for starting a YouTube channel. No matter what it is, whether you're doing fishing, whether you're doing whatever it is, foodie stuff, do what you like, because people are going to see through if it's not the real you really quick. Like you can tell the fake people out there that are in it for some other agenda. So do what you really enjoy and stay consistent, because like you see the people that'll throw stuff out there and then it'll be a month goes by and they're like, oh, sorry, I'm back. And like people want to relate to you and like hear about how your life's going and what's going on, even though like I think I have a boring life. People love catching up with me. Like, what'd you do with Mr. Stubbs today? Just generic stuff like, you know, hanging with a buddy, fishing with a friend, and just, you know, talking about how they're doing. So to me, it's going to be stay consistent, have fun. Okay. So let's do our giveaway. And I can actually share this so you can all see who the winner is. Thank you, Fishing with Gramps. He's not even in here, but thank you so much for showing that. That makes it super easy. And I don't have to giveaway tool. Is that it? Yeah, I don't have to try to like time stuff because that's always such a pain in the butt. So hashtag fish. Here we go. 94 individual entries. Man, that's a lot of entries. Good stuff, people. Here we go. Da, na, 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 na. Was that Drake? Was Drake in here? Brian Money. Sir, you are the winner. Horns going off. Oh, and I should have said the other part of it is you have to be in here. So if he's not in here, we're going to re-roll. Brian Money, hopefully you're here. Sorry, if you're new to the stream and you didn't know you had to be here, I don't pick winners for people that are just going to jump in and try to get a giveaway and then leave. And maybe you had other stuff going on. I know how that goes. I'm sorry, but you have to be here. That way I can confirm it. So I'll leave that up there for a second for Brian. He might be doing something around mute. Oh, he's here. Woo! Brian, do you have Instagram? Can you hit me up on Instagram? If you don't, let me know below, and I will type my email address so you can have it. Instagram's the easiest, though, so I can take a screenshot and then double check and ask you questions. I guess it doesn't really matter. You can email me. It's DEBO'Sfishing@gmail.com. DEBOS fishing@gmail.com. There it is. So congrats, Mr. Brian Money. You are the winner. I will get a random package out to you, sir. Hit me up on Instagram or email me with your information. Okay, so we are at what? An hour 18. We'll go for 15 minutes more. I think we can do that. If I close this, does it? I don't know. I don't really want to mess with that. There was something I was doing and it was kicking me out, so I'm not going to do it. Okay, what other questions do we have here? Were there any questions that I did not get to? I'm going to pick a couple more questions and then I'm going to get out of here. I know you've all got family stuff to do, all kinds of stuff, but I appreciate 230 people in here still. Y'all are awesome. Absolutely awesome. How is Mr. Stubbs fishing south? You said Mr. Stubbs is awesome. I've heard him come down the stairs, and then he's big with using his nose. Like if you're not paying attention to him, he'll come up and be like, hey, what are you doing? I heard him come down a couple times and nose the door trying to get through. He's a good boy. St. Croix or Dobbins? Julie, is that Julie? Julie says St. Croix or Dobbins. For sure, Dobbins. I've used a lot more Dobbins rods. I have a lot of confidence in those. I haven't had I'm trying to think. I don't know that I've had a single issue with any of my Dobbins rods. St. Croix, I actually just got is it the Victory, which is the new rod that they came out with. I just got that in casting. And then the St. Croix Triumph, I want to say, the spinning rod. It was an old one they discontinued and then brought back the new version. That's the only two St. Croix rods I have and have ever used. I've never used St. Croix before that. Randy, I would think, would say St. Croix. He's a big St. Croix guy. He does have a couple Dobbins likes him, but I'm pretty sure he'd say St. Croix on that one. What else? Fish. People are still saying hashtag fish. I think we picked the winner. No more hashtag fish. Bass or salmon? I don't know if you mean catching or eating. Eating salmon, catching bass. I've never done any salmon catching though. Sure, it'd be fun. What else? Gravy. Critical gravy. Oh my gosh, dude, are you a master in the making of biscuits and gravy with the name Critical Gravy? Maybe you own a biscuits and gravy shop, dude. Is it gravy and biscuits or biscuits and gravy? For me, it's definitely biscuits and gravy. I call them B's and G. That's what we call them when I go to Casey's to get them. I'm like, Randy, do they have any B's and G in there? Biscuits and gravy. Now who's outdoor angling? Outdoor angling, are you trolling me here with the fish stuff? So people saying they have the St. Croix stuff and really like them. Yeah, they make good rods. I just don't have a big past experience using them and stuff. What else? Apple, was it Apple or Windows? Apple or Windows, Android like type stuff. I don't care. I'm an Android guy just because that's what I've always had and I'm used to it. I've used Apple stuff too. I don't really care. I'm not a huge techie guy. Let's see. What else do we have here? Somebody saying re-roll and just pick me, don't roll. What else? Oh, Top Cat. Did I miss that one? I'm luckily scrolling up. I missed that. My guy Top Cat. Lose Lfs or Alloy M? For sure, I'm going to say Lose Lfs because I have put in the time with the LFS. I've still got, I don't know if it's over in my real drawer or not, but I've still got an old LFS that's probably like 6 years old now. It's like 2 versions ago. Never had a single issue with that. That was like one of my first expensive reels that I bought when I was getting rid of a bunch of my old used stuff and some used stuff that I'd bought here around town, like off of, what was it? Craigslist that we used to use. Now I just use like Facebook Marketplace, but never had issues with that. Great reel, $100 reel. You can't go wrong. The Alloy M is only $20 cheaper. I believe it's $79. It does have an aluminum frame. It does feel good, but I feel like for what I know and what I've got out of the LFS out of a proven reel. Alloy M though, I really like that. Actually, did I just talk about that in the last video? I think that was actually the video I just edited today. I was talking about the Alloy M. So far, I like it. It surprised me with casting distance. It feels pretty good. Like the handle knobs are a little small on it, but it does come with a pretty like long handle that is carbon fiber. I think. I don't know if it's like real carbon fiber or the glued together stuff, but either way, it's light. It feels good. I haven't had any issues with it. We'll see how it holds up though. Let's see. Somebody was asking about kayak. Nitro boat or a kayak, not the aluminum kind. So I can't have my aluminum John boat. For those of you that don't know, I call my aluminum John boat aluminum John boat and aluminum kayak. Nitro boat or kayak. I would rather have a nitro boat. I hate fishing sitting down, and I feel like you kind of get weaseled into that a lot on a kayak. I know you can stand up and fish off of them, but just out of pure stability, and I could hold all my rods. I could take Randy out on it. I could, take subscribers, other people that I meet around here. Yeah, I'd have to go nitro boat. I would not turn into one of those pretentious nitro boat guys and make fun of aluminum kayak people on the boat ramp, though. That has happened to me, strangely enough. Let's see. The ones that catch bass, that must have been in relation to a lure. Red licorice or black licorice. I like both. I know there's people that hate one or the other, but I don't know. I just ate some of both today, or couple days ago, actually. I like them both. Ooh, Mr. Philip Cheek, another huge supporter of the channel. Beating Iowa State or winning the Big Ten championship. Oh, man. What they say, the last 2 times they won championships under Ferentz was 2002 and 2005, I want to say. So we haven't won a Big Ten championship since like 2005-ish. We've beat Iowa State the last 5. Now that'll be 6 years. I'd have to say a Big Ten championship. Hopefully go to a good bowl. If our record was the only loss was to Iowa State, we won Big Ten championship, then won a good bowl, I can deal with that. Okay, let's take a couple more questions, and then we're going to get out of here. Tatula 100 for jerk and sticks. Tatula 100 is awesome for lighter baits, jerk baits. I mean, that's one that I have recommended to a lot of people, and they've loved it after they've picked it up and used it. It's great at casting light baits. It's a good palmable size. It's a little bit longer, I've noticed. People don't necessarily like where it's, longer from like the back where you press the thumb to the front of it. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty small profile reel overall. I love it. Camp Waffle Stomper said she loved my impression of Randizzle as a bullfrog. Yeah, that's what I hear on my head all the time now whenever he's giving me crap. There's a bunch of Dr. Pepper stuff. Was somebody asking about Dr. Pepper or something else? Oh, G-Fan, root beer or Dr. Pepper? I honestly don't drink either. I used to drink Dr. Pepper a lot back in the day. I like both. It doesn't matter to me. I don't really drink a lot of pop unless it's like Coke Zero. That's my kind of guilty pleasure. I do like the Coke Zero. Chocolate or vanilla, somebody said. I am definitely a chocolate guy. I love chocolate. Root beer, waffles or pancakes? Don't care. Either one. Put either one in front of me and I'll eat it. Hook keeper. Here's a good one. Jason Walk. Hook keeper in front of the reel or behind the reel? Okay, so I used to hate hook keepers behind the reel because that's usually where I grab my rods, like to pick them up. And I've had multiple hooks stab me that way. However, if you're running a crankbait and you use the little like Velcro bait wraps like I do, it works a lot better when it's behind the reel. Other people have said it's like when you, it depends on the lure that you're using, but when you hook it up there and you run the rod sock down, stuff can get stuck in that. Or if you backlash and you're picking out like a backlash, or even sometimes when you cast, if it's an open lure keeper that's up in front of the reel, you can get the line like caught up in it there. So, I mean, I've kind of shifted to some of the behind the reel hook keepers. I don't hate them as much. I still don't have a perfect one. If I could pick one, I don't know. Owner Beast hooks. I've seen a couple people say yes, they are great hooks. I like them a lot. Bacon or sausage? Fish in the Southeast says. Either one. I'm not huge on either one. I'm not like a bacon head. I know people say that like bacon is the cat's meow. Either one. Just depends. As long as they're good. Don't matter. What bait is best to catch a bass? Dude, that's such an open-ended question. The number one bass catching bait I would say is either a plastic worm or a jig. I would say more money has been won on those two than anything else out there. I think. I'm going with that. Like Fishing with Jake says, like or subscribe? Neither. If you're watching me, I'm not going to tell you to do either one. You do what you feel is in your best interest to help support old Debo. He-Man or Voltron? Oh, that's not even close. He-Man for sure. One of my favorite cartoons as a kid. Owner hook. I see people talking about stick worms is the best one. Yeah, that's definitely one, but that's relatively new, quote unquote, in the grand scheme of things. I know that's stepping up now as a big fish catcher, but I think, back from when everything started, worm or a jig. I mean, people have been fishing soft plastic worms and jigs forever, catching fish. Okay, we got a couple donations. Let's get to them. Mr. Sam Bloomer with the super sticker, $1.99. Thank you very much, my good sir. I appreciate that. And Eric. Okay, we're going to end it on Eric's question. We're at an hour 30. Okay, Eric says, never frog fish again, but make a living off of YouTube channel, or off my YouTube channel, or continue to frog fish, but never make a living off YouTube. Oh my gosh. Well, I can still do other topwater. There's a bunch of other topwaters that I like. I would be willing to put the frog down and never fish again if I could make a living off YouTube and fish for a living. I couldn't imagine how awesome that would be. Making my own schedule. It'd be awesome. It'd be a grind. Don't get me wrong. You're going to be working more than your normal 40 hours, but having the ability to do that and doing something you love, I couldn't tell you how cool that would be. So that'd be my go-to. Sorry, frogs. Well, the good part is I'd be doing a huge giveaway of just frogs to everyone, so that'd be fun. All right, y'all. Well, I'm getting out of here. Thank you all for joining me tonight, the solo show with Debo. Thank you to everybody, Eric, who donated, everybody else who donated on the show. It means a ton to me. I just see another one jump in. Ninja Shadow with $1 bomb. Thank you very much. It doesn't matter the amount. I appreciate everybody that donates. Goes to helping me, giveaways, everything else out there. So keep your heads up. Like I said, I know I've been dealing with anxiety and stress and depression. People have said it in here, with the times. Keep your heads up, everyone. Get out there and fish. Do whatever it is that helps relax you and clear your head. Do that. But love you all. Thank you all for joining tonight. I will see you again next week for live. And I've got, I think, probably 4 videos next week for you. So early Christmas. Later, all.